Hello and welcome to the weekly Global Heartstream. I'm Gabriel Gonzalez, a professional coach, artist, and speaker who enjoys traveling the world, connecting with amazing people, and talking about the longest, most rewarding journey that you'll ever embark on, the 12-inch journey between your head and your heart. Through individual and group coaching programs, online courses, and live seminars, I teach a heart-centered approach to personal mastery, leadership development, and spiritual growth that helps people become the most loving, joyful, and powerful version of themselves. The Global Heartstream is a weekly dedicated space to help you reconnect with your heart, raise your vibrational frequency, and remind you just how powerful, loving, and amazing you already are. It's also an invitation to unify our hearts with the intention of bringing more love, compassion, and healing to a world that so desperately needs it. You can find out more about my work by visiting gabrielgonzalez.com, where you can also sign up for my weekly newsletter, join the Heart Leader community, and register for my upcoming seminars. And if you enjoyed this Heartstream, please be sure to subscribe, like, or comment so that we can reach more people and help make this a more loving, compassionate, and heart-centered world. Hello and welcome to the Global Heartstream. I'm your host, Gabriel Gonzalez, broadcasting live on this beautiful Wednesday, the 21st of December, 2022, which happens to also coincide, as Simona just reminded us, with the winter solstice, if you are here in the Northern Hemisphere, or the summer solstice, if you are in South Africa or in Argentina. By the way, congratulations to all my Argentinian friends and listeners. I was definitely rooting for you. Welcome, Cindy. Welcome, Veronica. Welcome, Simona. Welcome, Ellen. Namaste, baby. Getting your mistletoe. Hello, Shelley. Hello, Irish. I've missed seeing you here. Hello, Lush. And welcome those of you who are just joining us right now, wherever you are in the world. We have been this entire month of December exploring what I call or refer to as the path of heart mastery. And today I have a very special treat for you, coinciding also with the solstice, which symbolizes the return of the light in the Northern Hemisphere. Also is the birth of the Christ. And so today I have prepared for you a very special guided process designed to help you activate or to anchor in every fiber of your body, in every atom of your being, this awareness, this consciousness. And then next week when we come back, we're going to then be doing a conscious completion process, wrapping up the year together. Let me ask you, what does Christ consciousness mean to you? When you hear the word Christ consciousness, what does that mean to you? You know, this is a topic of a lot of hate mail that I get. Believe it or not, I get a lot of hate mail from just random people that for some reason they feel that the guided meditations that I share that are to help activate the Christ consciousness or awaken the Christ in you are blasphemous. You know, and one of the comments I keep hearing over and over again is like, who are you to be calling yourself the Christ, or to be speaking in the name of the Christ, or to be invoking the Christ? Blah, 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 blah. And so I'd love to know your thoughts about what does Christ consciousness mean to you. And if you don't mind, I'd love it if you just share one or two words in the comment section, just so that I can know what that is. And then while you're at it, please remember that if you find my guided meditations and weekly heart streams useful, and you would like to express your gratitude and your appreciation, you can always make a donation over on my website. And please remember also to subscribe to my channel so that you can receive notifications if you haven't already subscribed. And whenever you're ready to take the next step with me, know that I have basically 3 courses, 3 programs that are available to you anytime that you choose to take the next step with me. On January 9th, we're starting the Heart Mastery Training. This is a 7-week course uniquely designed to help you learn the foundational principles and practices of heart intelligence as you can apply it to your own life. Then on March 6th, we're going to be starting the next Heart Warrior Training Program, which is a group coaching program where we do a lot of shadow process, shadow reintegration, and emotional mastery work. And then at the end of January, right on the 26th, we are going to be also starting the next installment, the 2023 class of the Heart Leader Training Program. Some of you who are here are alumni of the training program. And so this is a certified training program in heart intelligence coaching, small group facilitation, and transformational leadership. And I also want to let you know, because this is something that I do only once a year, that today I just released Heartstart 2023. These last few days of the year give us an opportunity to look back at the past 12 months and consciously review and reflect on the experiences so that we can then make better choices in the future. All right, this is my annual guide that I offer for free to the community. So this year I'm doing something a little bit different. I decided to, in addition to the free guide, offer some supplemental workshops. So if you're interested in downloading the free guide or signing up for the supplemental workshops, feel free to visit my website, gabrielgonsalves.com, Heartstart. Okay, so back to our topic of Christ consciousness. I really want to kind of move through quickly some of these concepts or ideas so that we can get straight into the experience, because that's really where the rubber meets the road. Hello, Geraldine. Welcome from Ireland. And so when I asked the question, what does Christ consciousness mean to you? Here's some of the answers that some of you shared. Irish says is empathic awareness of all living things. Yes. Ellen says truth. Amelie, hi Emily, says being wholehearted in his light. Yes. Universal consciousness of divine love, says Cindy's heart. Paul, welcome, Paul. Paul says connection to divine source through Christ. Simona says oneness. Lush says seeing and functioning from the spiritual expanded heart, mind, being united with Christ within consciously. Yes, great. That sounds like a definition from A Course of Love, which if any of you have had the opportunity to read it, it's all about Christ consciousness. One love, says Veronica. Shelley says being love to all. Yes, 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 yes. Absolutely. These are some of the definitions and experiences many of us have had with regards to this thing that we now call Christ consciousness, which, as many of you, already reminded us, can also be referred to as unity consciousness, connection consciousness, compassion consciousness, universal consciousness. And of course, we always speak that it's something that comes through Christ because we're speaking specifically about Christ consciousness. But bear in mind, once again, that Christ was not a person. Jesus Christ, his last name was not Christ. Okay. His name was Jesus. He was giving the title of the Christ, which basically means the anointed one. Just like Buddha is also a title that means the awakened one. So why would you be anointed? Well, because normally when you anoint, especially in our ancient times, whenever you anoint someone, you anoint them with oil. And why with oil? Because oil carries the essence of its source. Olive oil carries the essence of olive, right? Lavender oil carries the essence of lavender. So the Christ was somebody who carried, who owned, who embodied, expressed, observed, demonstrated the consciousness that we've been speaking about, the consciousness of, yes, of the awakened one, the one that was always unified with the Father. That's the essence of what we're speaking about. And now you may be wondering, why are we speaking about this? What does it have to do with heart mastery, which is what we have been speaking about during this entire month? Well, it's very, very relevant, because the heart represents, in many of our spiritual traditions, that place where that consciousness lives. Think of the image of the Immaculate Heart of Mother Mary, the Immaculate Heart, or the Sacred Heart of Christ. Think of the Buddhist idea of the lotus flower that lives inside the temple of the heart. Think of what the Upanishads also refer to as the castle of Brahman, living also, residing inside the center of the heart. The Sufis spoke also about the inner man inside of the heart. So the heart represents our center, represents our core, represents the beginning and the end. The light of the heart is what gives birth to life in human form. There's not until there's a heartbeat that life begins in the physical body. You could say the heart is the first one in and the last one out. All right. So it is also the center of our emotional system, and it's also the center of this loving awareness that we call by different names. So this entire journey of heart mastery that we've been speaking about this month is really the journey towards that spiritual heart and towards that unity consciousness that, if you're looking at the slides here, it's expressed in stage 3, stage of what I call the warrior. Right? When we begin to establish a deeper connection through the emotional heart into the energetic spiritual heart, and then as a result, there is a transformation in how we see ourselves, how we experience life, how we experience others. There's a vantage perspective, and then it is from the awareness then that over time we feel this longing, this deep desire to honor God, not just inside of us, but through the entire creation, and then begin to see everything that we do as serving the totality, serving the whole, which is what stage 4 is about. So in case you're new to this week's or this month's broadcast, a couple of weeks ago, I released a test called the Heart Mastery Quiz to help people identify where they are on the stage. And I'd love it if you recently did that quiz, if you could share with us how did you score, or where do you believe you are on this stage, on this journey. And this quiz, again, is available on my website. You'll find it right when you arrive on my website on the front page. If not, you could also look for it under the resources or go to the link that's here /quiz. All right, so let's go a little bit deeper into this, again, as a way to set up some kind of a perspective or a context for the deeper work that we're going to be doing in a few moments. What I'm showing you right now here on the screen, it's something that is used a lot in many psychology books and many books that are trying to explain human behavior. And it's called the neurological levels of change. Right? Our nervous system experiences changes through these 5 levels. Okay, they are at the level of the environment. Right, your environment, it changes how you feel about yourself, so you can make changes then externally in your environment. You could also change at the level of behaviors, make changes at the level of behaviors. You can change what you do. You can make changes at the level of your capabilities. You can develop new skills, like learn how to play the guitar, learn how to speak a new language, learn some kind of a skill that you didn't have before. You can make changes at the level of your beliefs and values. And if you notice, a lot of personal development tools and techniques like EFT, for example, hypnosis is working at that level, trying to help you release, let go of some beliefs and values. Oftentimes, these are very intricately connected to emotions and wounding. But then beyond that, there's a level of identity. Okay, so this is how we define ourselves, how we perceive ourselves, who we think we are. And I think this model is really wonderful to help us understand how people change, how we change over time. We apply or we implement changes in all these different areas. But here's what's really powerful about this model. This model teaches that the higher the level in which you make those changes in your life, the more likely that change is to become permanent. Okay, so think about like the level of the environment. If you make a change at the level of the environment, if you move to a different place, but you're still being the same, judgmental, angry person, I guess what's going to happen? You're just going to be this judgmental, angry person in another country, and therefore you're going to basically manifest the exact same experience. But as you change how you see yourself, if you change your own perception of yourself, if you change how you see yourself, your own definition of who you think you are, you begin to change. This is what we call a level of being. But now I believe that this model, however wonderful and helpful it is flawed. Why is it flawed? Well, because for the majority of us, this identity that we think we are, this personal self that we think we are. Remember, the word personal comes from the word persona, which in Greek means mask. So it's the mask that we wear. This personal self is a human fabrication. It's a product of our environment, our programming, our culture, our DNA, past life propensities, like all these different things. And so guess what? By its own nature is limited. And so if you want to really make some changes, the changes that will ultimately take us to that third or fourth stage along the path of heart mastery that I've been referring to, we need to tune in and tap in to a level of identity that goes and transcends our human identity. And this is the place of what people would call or refer to as your higher self, your infinite self, your infinite potential. All right. This higher self can also be referred to as your Christ self, your Buddha nature, your Atman presence, your divine identity. I don't care what you call it. All I care and encourage you to is to call it forth, to align with it. Because this higher self is ultimately what allows you to move into this energy, this vibration of 500 in Dr. David Hawkins' calibrated map of consciousness. This is the vibration of love. Remember that Jesus, Buddha, and all these great spiritual masters and avatars, primarily what they came here to teach was about love, forgiveness, and compassion. And all of these different qualities live all the way up here, which means we have to transcend all these lower level emotions. This is part of what we spoke about last week. So now the last slide I want to show you is a slide that comes from Elizabeth Clare Prophet's Triune chart, or I Am chart. Okay, some of you may be familiar with the I Am chart. I use this for my classes and my trainings where I basically have broken down the essence of that chart. And what's depicted here on this chart is 3 levels that exist within you at any given time. Okay, you have at the higher level what can be referred to as your I Am presence. It's the part of you that is always unified with God. It's always one with God. It's never separated from God. But this part is absolute. It lives in a place where there's no duality, right? Where there's no other. It's the part of you that is always one with the totality, with the whole. So think of it as like this is the part of the drop of water in the ocean that is the ocean, that contains the entire ocean, that is always at one with the ocean. And then at the lowest level, we have our human identity, our limited self, our personal self. It's called the personal self because it was made up by this persona. It was fabricated. Okay. And as I was saying earlier, it's a human fabrication. But now in the middle, between these two, exists another level, which is referred to oftentimes as the higher self or your infinite self. And this is the self of the mediator that we are going to be appealing aligning with, calling for, summoning during our time together. This is your holy Christ self. This is your Buddha nature. This is your Atman presence. Okay. This self has been given many, many, many different names depending on the tradition that you follow. But in essence, we're speaking to the exact same part of you. Okay. This part of you is also connected, always unified with divinity, with God, with source, with spirit. But it operates as an intermediary so that you can summon it, so that you can call it forth and invite its energy to inhabit this personal limited self and help you transcend within yourself all of that which up until now you have not been able to do. Okay. And so this is what we're really calling forth. We're inviting the presence, and we're going to call it today Christ consciousness. But if during the guided meditation, during the activation process, you want to call it unconditional love consciousness, divine consciousness, divine essence, higher self, you call it that. I don't care. You call it a name that resonates with you, just simply substitute it, because again, we all speak here different languages, and so the idea is that you speak it and you call it using a name that resonates with you. Okay. And then as we anchor this awareness, and once we're in that place when we have really feeling that connection with this universal, unconditional presence of divine love inside of us, from that space, just like we have been doing over the past few weeks, we're going to speak the following affirmations. Okay. So I invite you, as a way to transition now into the second part, which is the activation, to put a hand over your heart. Take a deep inhale. And please repeat these affirmations with me. Again, just so that you're familiar with them, so that you can start allowing them to sink in. I am one with the love, wisdom, and power of God. With compassion in my heart, I welcome the light of Christ in me. My heart is now a chalice of Christ consciousness. The Christ in me is now healing my heart, mind, body, and soul. Today, I let my divine self guide and direct my life. My personal self is now in service of my higher self. The Christ in me fully recognizes the Christ in others. This is the essence of what Namaste means in the Hindu, the Sanskrit language. The divinity in me bows, recognizes the divinity in you. The Christ in me, the Buddha in me, recognizes the Buddha in you. I see myself in you. And this is available because of this presence. The desire to move more and more and more and more in the direction of infinite love. This is also what I believe really means to be brothers in Christ, brothers in Buddha, brothers in Krishna, spiritual brothers, pilgrims, ultimately. to recognize or the divinity that lives in each other, that recognize that beyond our human self, which is very flawed by nature, wounded at its core, there's this divine essence that everybody possesses. And within this divine essence, there's also this childlike innocence that is what ultimately allows us then to connect with the essence of all things. All right, so with that, I want to now invite you to move with me into the second part of our time together, which is the activation. The only prerequisite for this activation is, number one, being present. Giving yourself permission to, during the next few moments, to be absolutely present and observant of anything and everything that is moving through your awareness here and now, mentally, physically, emotionally, energetically, spiritually, being fully present. And the second requirement is just the willingness. The willingness to feel different. The willingness to see things differently. The willingness to let go of anything and everything that stands in the way of this higher awareness or consciousness of love. We begin by placing one hand over the heart. It doesn't matter which hand. It could be the right or it could be the left. As we softly close the eyes, and begin to breathe straight into the heart. Breathing slowly, breathing nice and deep, and breathing nice and even so that the inhale and the exhale are approximately the same length. As we breathe in and out of the heart, we give ourselves permission to release and let go of any unnecessary tension around the head, the neck, and the shoulders. Relaxing the stomach muscles, the torso, the abdomen area. Allowing the air and the breath to reach all those places where there may be small tension, tightness, or maybe even discomfort or pain. Simply breathing in and breathing out. Now please repeat after me. I, and then say your name. Now choose to activate the Christ in me. Opening my heart to greater love. For the good of all humanity. Now, would you please visualize and imagine that right in front of you, there's a fire. Could be like a bonfire or a fire that you light up when you go camping and when you're out with friends and nature. Just imagine the fire burning right in front of you. And what we're going to do in a few moments, before we call in this divine presence and its increase in our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies, we're going to create more space for it. The way we're going to do this is by drawing into this hand that is over the heart all energetic, mental, emotional blocks in the heart that are keeping us from welcoming greater love. So set the intention inwardly to now receive into this hand all bitterness, all unforgiveness, all judgments, all past trauma, pain, wounded, all that may be keeping you, hindering, stopping you from welcoming greater love. And on the count of 3, when I snap my fingers, I like you to imagine that all these energies flow into your hand and you receive them into your hand. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Receive it. Imagine it all flowing, almost as if your hand was like a vacuum, receiving all unwanted pain, all the emotions, all blocks from around the heart. As I speak the following prayer on your behalf. Dear God, our Divine Father, our Heavenly Mother, we ask that you receive into our hands, which are your hands, these old emotions, blocked emotions, pain, bitterness, unforgiveness, or anything less than love that is blocking our hearts, that is keeping us from welcoming greater love. May it all be received into these hands, which are your hands, in the name of Jesus the Christ, in the name of Gautama the Buddha, in the name of Shri Krishna, in the name of Lord Maitreya, in the name of Kutumi, St. Francis of Assisi, in the name of Archangel Raphael, healer of healers, and in the name of the Divine Mother. May it all flow, 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 and return to the nothingness from which it came, returning to the fire, that it may be transmuted by thy love. We thank you, and we let this be. Now see and feel as your hand now gets heavy with all of that which is coming from your heart. And when I count to 3, what we're going to do is we're going to now shake that hand into the fire that is right in front of us. And allow that fire now to receive everything that no longer serves us, that has been inside the heart. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Shake that hand. Shake it into the fire. Just imagine, see, feel, and visualize all the bitterness, all the unforgiveness just going into the fire. Take it out of the heart, put it into the fire. And then, on the count of 3, we're going to blow that fire and allow ourselves to extinguish that fire and allow the smoke of that fire to rise up to the heavens. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Deep inhale. Blow on that fire. Put it out and watch all the smoke rising up to the heavens, and see it now being transmuted as it goes back to its source, as it merges with the air. And as you do that, you may now come back again to the place inside of the heart. Breathing slowly, deeply, and evenly in and out of the heart. And activating this feeling of gratitude. Feeling gratitude for this moment, for this life. Feeling gratitude for what was just released right now. And as you continue to feel this feeling and breathe in and out of the heart, would you imagine that right above you, there's a bright, shining sun, or a replica of the sun that is right above you. This is a part of you that is always at one with divinity, because it is divinity individualized as you. This is a part of you that has no beginning and no end, that has never been born and shall never die, because it knows no concept of time. Now see, feel, and visualize that between you and this sun, there's this presence of this Christ itself, higher self, divine self, Buddha, nature, Atman, presence, whatever you call it, according to your beliefs and your traditions. Just see it. The important thing is that you see it right above you, acting as the bridge, acting as the intermediary between you and then this absolute presence of divine love. And as you see it, feel it there, know it's up there, feel its warmth that emanates from its heart. See the rays of gold that flow from the center of its being. And as you see and feel this presence right above you, I now declare on your behalf and in unity with all of life, in the name of the beloved, victorious presence of God, I am in me, my very own beloved Holy Christ self, the I am in every person here today, and the Holy Christ self of everyone here. I call forth the threefold flame of love, wisdom, and power to burn within our hearts, as I now decree, Holy Christ self above me, the balance of my soul, let thy blessed radiance descend and make me whole. See, feel, and imagine now this divine presence beginning now to move closer to you, that begin to softly and gently make its way into your heart. Feeling the presence gently arrive at the center of your being. Thy flame within me ever blazes, thy peace about me ever rises, thy love protects and holds me, thy dazzling light unfolds in me. I am thy threefold radiance, I am thy living presence, expanding, expanding, expanding now. Feel as it expands. See it now beginning to glow and to radiate within you. If emotions rise during this moment, simply breathe in, acknowledge it, embrace it, allow it. This light within you has the capacity to embrace, to accept anything and everything. Holy Christ, flame within me, come, expand thy triune light, flood my being with the essence of the pink, the blue, the gold, and the white. Feel it now expand even more and more and more as I say these words. Thy flame within me ever blazes, thy peace about me ever rises, thy love protects and holds me, thy dazzling light unfolds me. I am thy threefold radiance, I am thy living presence, expanding, expanding, expanding now. There in the center of your heart, there's the flame of the living Christ now shining upon the altar reserved for it. Let this lifeline to your present, which is your friend, your brother, let it keep now from this moment onward its olive vigil here. Holy lifeline to my presence, friend and brother ever dear, let me keep thy holy vigil. Be thyself in action here. Thy flame within me ever blazes, thy peace about me ever rises, thy love protects and holds me, thy dazzling light unfolds me. I am thy threefold radiance, I am thy living presence, expanding, expanding, expanding now. Feel it expand beyond you even more. See it now connecting with all the other lights emanating from the hearts of every person here today. See it growing, expanding as a grid around the planet now that is helping raise the vibrational frequency of this entire planet and in every living organism in it. Consciously and gratefully accepting it here. And in full faith, I consciously accept this right here and right now. In full power, eternally sustained, all powerfully active, ever expanding and world unfolding until all are holy and ascended into the light and free. And so it is, and it is so. From this awareness now, please repeat after me. I am the activation of the Christ in me. I am the return of the light here today. I am one with the love, wisdom, and power of God. With compassion in my heart, I welcome the light of Christ in me. My heart is now a chalice of Christ consciousness. The Christ in me is now healing my heart, mind, body, and soul. Today, I let my divine self guide and direct my life. My personal self is now in service of my higher self. The Christ in me fully recognizes the Christ in others. I am the living Christ shining in my heart. I am the resurrection and the life of Christ in me. This is the truth of my being. This is the law of my life. And so it is, and it is so. For the next few moments, in the stillness and silence within your heart, I'd like to invite you to commune with this light of Christ within you, and to offer any prayers or make any requests that you would like. From this awareness of unity, we now ask, what is the Christ in me asking of me right now? What is this higher aspect of myself? What is the consciousness of unconditional love asking of me right now? We acknowledge the answer that was received. Knowing that by asking this question, we're also establishing a deeper connection with that part of ourselves. Knowing that from this point forward, we recognize that within us there is a presence that we can always turn to anytime we feel scared, afraid, disconnected. And inquire. And that our job is simply to observe it, to become present to it, and to listen to its guidance. For the ability to always turn within, as the master teacher, Jesus the Christ, taught us. To the kingdom of heaven within us, in the midst of our hearts, where the divine presence of God resides, we give thanks. For the opportunity to reclaim our divine inheritance in Christ, in Krishna, in Buddha, in divinity. We're infinitely grateful, and we let this be. Amen. We begin now to come back once again to the full awareness of our time together, to the awareness of the physical reality that surrounds us, opening our eyes. So I would like to ask you, what new insights, what new realizations of awareness are you taking away with you today? What shifted? What's different? I love it if you feel like it and you're up for it, if you could share it with me in a few words in the comment section below. Thank you, Simona, for being here today. Marcel says, your joyful and radiant eyes speak what you're saying. Thank you for sharing this meditation. Thanks to Christ for always being there. Beautiful. Thank you, Marcel. Mary says, beautiful session, feeling love and supported by Blessed Mary and Jesus. Thank you, Gabriel, and Merry Christmas to all. Cherish each other because tomorrow is promised to no one. Shelley says, feeling more peaceful. Okay, great. Yeah, well, remember that all we've really done here today is just to activate something that is already there. Okay, so think of it as, to activate means to put into movement, put into action something that is already there, that it's always available to you. Ellen says, feeling a bit shaky, but not in a bad way. Namaste forever, baby. Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, okay, well, sometimes love has that power. When lots of love moves into the heart center area, you can feel a little bit shaky. Sometimes unwanted emotions can rise, which is why we did the sort of like receiving a lot of the negativity and blockages into the hearts and surrender them so that we could create more and more and more space. Luisa says, I felt a great expansion. So if I were as big as the planet. Yeah, well, the truth is that from an energetic perspective, that's how big your heart chakra really is. The Institute of Heart Math can measure it only, 10 feet, wide, but that's only because the instruments that they have will only allow them to measure it that big. But the truth is that it really knows no boundaries. Cindy says that she felt a deep connection, deep peace and connection. And Marie McLeod says, thank you, feeling much more connected. Maya says, surrender and trust. Yeah, great, wonderful. Beautiful realizations. Okay, so remember, my job here week after week is just continue to point the finger at you, but not really at you, but at your heart. Continue to invite you to inhabit that place. Okay, continue to point you towards your own heart. That is the space where miracles happen. Not just the miracle of your life, but also the miracles of the life that you're here to live and to express. All right, well, this marks the end of our time together. And when we come back next week, I'll be facilitating a similar process during the second time of the broadcast, but it will be rather a process to consciously complete the year. So we're going to also, using the power of our hearts, we're going to be letting go of this year's disappointments, bitterness, anything else that you may still be holding on to from this year, so that we can all move together into this new year with a renewed sense of hope, with a renewed sense of optimism. And not only that, but also with greater alignment with this Christ energy that we've tuned in and tapped into today. Shelley says, thank you, Gav, so much for today and every week for your love, time, and teachings. Wishing you all a wonderful, blessed Christmas and family time, for all the to be connected in the heart. Yes, thank you, Shelley. That's really beautiful. Really appreciate that. Okay, so that will be next week. And then, just a final reminder that if you would like to receive notifications about upcoming Heartstreams, you can always come to my website and subscribe to my newsletter. And then finally, if you find my guided meditations, weekly Heartstreams, and other offerings useful, and you would like to express your appreciation by making a donation in support of this work, please visit my website, gabrielgonsalves.com. And then for those of you who joined us a little bit later today, I made an announcement earlier that today I released Heart Start 2023. This is my end of the year review process and planning guide to help you move into the year with greater clarity and hope and optimism from the heart. Okay. If you want to find out more about it, I did put a link in the description of this video, so you can download the guide. And if you feel like you would like to spend a little bit more time with me, then I'd like to invite you to also to sign up for the implementation works that are also part of this training. Okay, my beautiful friends, once again, thank you so much for being with me here today on this beautiful winter solstice day. I wish you a really amazing and wonderful Christmas Eve if you celebrate it. If not, just a beautiful time in family, and also using this nurturing energies that are available during this time of the planet to nurture yourself, to take care of yourself. Okay, so that you can always take care of other people. Remember, that's kind of like the motto that we end every broadcast here. Remember to take care of yourself so that you can take care of others. I look forward to seeing you next week. Until then, send you all my love. Bye-bye for now. thank you for joining me in this week's Heartstream. I hope you're walking away feeling more connected to yourself and your divinity, to the planet, to others, and to all of life. Please be sure to subscribe so that you can receive notifications about upcoming broadcasts. And if you would like to sign up for my weekly newsletter, join the Heart Leader community, or register for my upcoming trainings and seminars, be sure to visit my website, gabrielgonsalves.com. Until the next time, please take care of yourself so that you can take care of others. And as always, I send you all my love from my heart to yours. Bye for now.